we can kind of group, maybe tie this into like, even broader conversation outside of like our shit. But another quote you had, in past, I'm not sure if you really clocked the bar you had, whatever, where you said, disagree in the boardroom, but not at the podium.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and one thing about us, and
he be pulling up. He going to the archives like that boy. Like he go grab. I try. Like that's crazy.
And one thing I give you credit, and you always embody and try, and you embody and echo on all your different experiences, conversation is just holding court accordingly and having certain conversations that are privileged and shit like that, whatever. And I thought that was we was having like a relationship kind of conversation in the car or whatever. Yeah. But at the same time, how you do one thing, how you do everything.
100%.
So, talk more about that, whether it's like, business, personal, friendships, relationships, just how important to have like certain conversations can't leave certain spaces.
100%.
That's how it can get tainted, distorted,
Yeah, I think that people don't value that enough, right? Like you got, that's why it's okay that's why it's important to be around people that have the same principles, the same morals, the same values, even if you got a different perspective. And I think that sometimes people want their perspective to be the loudest perspective when it really should just be the united perspective. Like ultimately we see it like this. Even if we don't see every fucking block the same, it still comes together to create the same puzzle. You follow what I'm saying? And when I said talking to just disagreeing in the boardroom, we need to hash out all of our differences and all of our reverse perspectives and alternatives before it's time to be presented. This goes into parenting. It's like putting on a united front, essentially, is what it is. It's like as teammates, as partners, as friends, you should never be in an uncontrollable environment or space disagreeing with each other, because that's how you get put up against the person that you should have been showing up with. And I feel like partners happen to them all the time. Like you shouldn't be so pressed to get your perspective off that you going to cook the entire unity and united and unified, front. That now you want to call it a front, because a front just seems like you posing, but just the united presentation. It's like, all right, cool, this is what we on. And it's like, all right, if you got a difference in perspective or alternative way to look at it, let's talk about it before it's presented. Because once we get to the podium, what's being said is what it is. Again, and if it's something that it's just against your morals, it shouldn't make out of the boardroom. That's why these conversations got to be had. So I think not enough people think about what that could look like. And it's like most of the time it gets sprung on them and they're like, well, I don't see it like that. But it's like, I don't really want motherfuckers to, I wouldn't encourage somebody to walk into a situation like that. That's why we have conversations posted. So look, all right, cool. How are we going to, what is this? How you see it? How you see that? And if you do disagree, some shit that was sprung on you in real time, you hold it until you get back to the boardroom. Again, unless it's just flat out against your morals. It's like, motherfucker flat out say, yeah, we all on it. We don't group me with that. But if it's just some little small minor shit, because a lot of times it be subjective and perspective based. You might have a certain way you might say it or do it. I might have a certain way I might say it or do it. We talk about that way, and then we put together a good approach and we present it. And I definitely strongly encourage that with people for sure.
Yeah, and I can admit, back when, a bunch of episodes ago when I spoke about like having my epiphany of like I need to be a better leader, with my wife. And one of the things we spoke about right before we got married and certain shit like that was she felt the thing about us is through our years of being together, I've often noticed in mixed company or possibly in public settings, how my wife acts is a little different than about how she acts in regards to like our conversation or me saying things can be a little different versus just us having a conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So would you say she more on the right side or on the left side?
I think our answer is I think you pick which one that is. Like I can make a joke or say something, and she may take it in a certain offensive way or try to be a little more at me, and then I feel like now we kind of slightly bidding too much, or now it's joking in front of people, whatever. Now my point is, she brought up to me when we was having that in that season, like reevaluating certain things with them. She's like, yeah, I feel like certain times, you make it seem like a joke, and I don't really like how you do it in front of whatever. And me personally, in real time, I was just like, it really be you though. Like you kind of take jokes the wrong way for no reason. I feel like you be kind of on 10 if it's like if we had a happy hour or this and that, you kind of be on go a little bit, whatever. But I realized after all that shit, regardless of who it is, I realized, you know what? I can and should be better. Yeah. How for whatever reason she's feeling sparked or activated or initiated to just be on some shit, whatever. Again, not nothing drama, but just like you joke a little bit too much, whatever, or now you taking offense to something I'm clearly joking about that we joke about all the time. That's on me.
Yeah.
And so your point about the boardroom, that's on me. That maybe we need to have some further discussions in the boardroom.
Yeah.
So now you're not being possibly triggered. I don't even know why you're being triggered. Yeah. And because clearly when it's just us, you're totally fine.
Yeah.
But that's like a boardroom conversation we need to have.
To your point though, I was gonna say it could be, and not to speak for, but just taking a concept and just thinking about it generalized. It could be that the way that you know her allows for a broader brand bandwidth of joking. So you never want to joke on somebody in front of people that don't know how much of it is a joke. And then even if they do know it's a joke, you never know how somebody might feel in that moment, trying to gauge if they know or don't understand. So it just certain shit is just insiders. And if you take the inside jokes outside, then you create outside conflict or inside conflict essentially.
I'm gonna smut her out.
Yeah,
No.
but I've seen y'all kind of like do it to each other, right?
Yeah.
Like what? Like if I got shit, oh yeah. Like it's funny to me. Like she smut you more. Like in my conversations that I've been with you, than I've seen you smut her, but you smut her publicly. Like so she smutted you, and like if I'm on the phone with you and she's in the back smutting you, but you smutted her here, so it's like I'm just saying. But the fact of the matter is, I haven't seen you do anything because I don't know.
Yeah.
That was like, oh yeah, like I'm really like on some shit. But again, I don't know her how she might be receiving it.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. You know, I've said on the show, I'll have some nurse smuts. You know, that nurses be bitching, do that type shit, whatever.
Maybe it's largely associated. My fault to cut you off. Maybe it's largely associated with the world perspective of nurses as well too, though, because they also fight the smut of the world and feel like, oh, they ain't really doing shit. So then you doing it, like it might just hit a little harder.
I don't be lying.
He said, but did I lie?
Did I lie? But my point is, I can say that with just us, or it's something. Again, anybody knows he knows. I'm consistent. I'm saying the same shit. So it's something she already know what I've said, know what I think. I probably said it to her. But if let's say if it's us 4 in this room, whatever, 3, she and her with us, then all of a sudden well, Q, why you always got us? It's like
it might be like you trying to flight her. Cause that might because like nurse the profession is widely respected, Q. It's a respected profession.
I didn't say it's not.
But the way you present it is like you don't respect it.
A lot of shit be cops respected. We got smut for cops.
No, I'm not knocking. I'm just saying, like, why when you're in a room with somebody like us, it might hit a little harder because we might respect the profession, and now you skew my perspective of it. Now I'm smiting it too.
Or I'm enlightening you.
If you want to call it that, you smiting it.
But overall, like I said,
I can see that.
Either there, I understood. You know what? Sound like some boardroom conversation need to be had with them. We could further realize, all right, what is it? Where
where do we draw the line?
Exactly.
Because I'm like that. So like. I actually had a conversation with one of my homies. I'm like, we was playing cards one time, whatever the case may be, and he just like getting off. Yeah, nigga, fuck you, bitch. And he might call me the B word, excuse my language, but he just fuck you, nut, that, third. And I'm just like, look, like I'm cool with all of that, right? But I don't want you to give off the impression because these people don't know me like that. That people can play with me like that. So it's like you, my homie. I'm not going to do certain things to you, but I don't want them to think that this is the level. And then I'm like, you also not about to make this a chicken fight, and you're not digging that you putting on a show right now for people. Like we walked in here together. So with everybody that's here, this is just entertainment. So if I'm going at you and you going at me, this is a fucking chicken fight with 2 people that walked in. I'm not doing that. So with respect, we could play with each other. We could have certain conversations, but it's a certain level that we can't take it in front of certain people. Like you hear me say the B word to my friends all the time. I would never say that in front of certain people because I don't want them to take it wrong. Like that's just how I talk. Like we just kind of like, yeah, motherfucker, yeah, bet you do. And it's just regular banter versus it being like a situation where we in a public space and I'm like, yeah, and it's like it could be misperceived. So I think that.
Yeah, same concept.
Same concept. It could just be misperceived where it's like, yeah, maybe her husband really don't respect what she got going on, or maybe so it's like, no, let's just not even go to that route. We could play in the house because I know it's just shit. But once we go outside, leave that shit where it's at.